Do you ever feel like your brain is a leaky bucket? You pour in information, names, dates, brilliant ideas, and poof, it just drips away. You walk into a room and completely forget why you're there. You meet someone new, and their name vanishes the second after they say it. It's frustrating, right? What if I told you that remembering everything isn't some superpower reserved for geniuses? It's a skill, a muscle you can train. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that memory muscle, starting with a story from when I was a kid. I used to be the most forgetful kid on the block. My mom would send me to the store with a short list of 3 items, and I'd somehow come back with 2, plus a toy I convinced myself was on the list. My grades weren't great, not because I wasn't smart, but because facts and figures for tests just wouldn't stick. I felt like I was constantly letting people down, and honestly, letting myself down. The turning point came during a summer visit to my grandpa's house. Grandpa was a retired history professor, and his mind was like a library where every book was perfectly cataloged. He could recall details from decades ago as if they happened yesterday. One afternoon, I was complaining about an upcoming history test. I just couldn't remember all the dates for the American Revolution. He just smiled, and instead of telling me to study harder, he asked me a strange question. Do you want to learn how to build a palace in your mind? A palace in my mind? It sounded like something out of a fantasy book. I was intrigued. He explained it was an ancient technique used by Greek orators and Roman senators, called the method of loci, or more simply, the memory palace. The idea is simple but incredibly powerful. You use a physical location you know intimately, like your own house, and you place the things you want to remember in specific spots within that location. So, he told me to close my eyes and walk through our house, starting from the front door. Okay, he said, what's the first thing you see? I said, the big red welcome mat. Good, he replied. Now, let's take your first date, 1776. The Declaration of Independence. Imagine a giant quill pen, dripping with ink, trying to sign its name on that red mat. Can you see it? I could. It was a weird, vivid image, but it was there. Next, walk into the living room. What's on your left? He asked. The big, comfy armchair where Dad watches TV. Perfect, Grandpa said. Your next date is 1783, the Treaty of Paris. Picture 2 grumpy-looking kings, one American, one British, having a pillow fight on that armchair with a map of Paris. Feathers are flying everywhere. I laughed, but I could picture it perfectly. The sillier and more outrageous the image, the better it sticks. We continued this all through the house. We placed the Boston Tea Party, 1773, in the kitchen sink with tiny toy soldiers throwing tea bags into the water. We put the Battle of Yorktown, 1781, in my bedroom with toy cannons firing popcorn at my bed. By the time we were done, my house was filled with the entire timeline of the American Revolution. Each room, each piece of furniture, held a piece of history. The next day, just for fun, I mentally walked through my house again. I opened the front door, and there was the quill on the mat, 1776. I walked into the living room, and the kings were still having their pillow fight on the armchair, 1783. I went to the kitchen sink, and the tea party was in full swing, 1773. I couldn't believe it. I remembered every single date in order. When I took that history test the following week, I aced it. I didn't just recall the dates, I could see them. That experience changed everything for me. I realized my memory wasn't broken. I was just using it wrong. Our brains aren't designed to remember boring, abstract lists of facts. They're designed to remember images, stories, and locations. We are spatial creatures. For thousands of years, our survival depended on remembering where the food was, where the danger was, and how to get back home. The memory palace technique taps directly into this ancient, powerful part of our brain. So, how can you start building your own memory palace? It's easier than you think. First, choose your palace. It can be your current home, your childhood home, your walk to work, or even your favorite video game map. The key is that you must know it like the back of your hand. You need to be able to mentally walk through it without any effort. Second, identify what you want to remember. Let's say you have a presentation and need to remember 5 key talking points. First point, quarterly sales figures. Second point, new marketing strategy. Third point, competitor analysis. Fourth point, customer feedback. And fifth point, future goals. Now, let's place them in your palace. We'll use a simple house layout. Start at your front door. For the first point, quarterly sales figures, imagine your front door is covered in giant, glowing dollar signs, and a sales chart is being used as a doormat. Make it bright, make it loud. Next, you walk into the hallway. For the second point, new marketing strategy, picture a giant megaphone on the hallway table, blasting out your new slogan. Maybe there are colorful ad posters plastered all over the walls. Then you enter the living room. For the third point, competitor analysis, imagine your 2 biggest competitors are wrestling on your sofa. It's a ridiculous image, but you won't forget it. Move into the kitchen for the fourth point, customer feedback. Picture your refrigerator is covered not with magnets, but with customer review stars, some glowing gold, some red. Maybe you can hear faint voices whispering compliments and complaints from inside the fridge. Finally, you go to your office or study for the fifth point, future goals. On your desk, instead of a computer, there's a crystal ball showing a bright, successful future for the company. Or maybe a telescope pointing out the window towards the horizon. Now, to recall your points during the presentation, all you have to do is mentally walk through your house. Front door sales figures, hallway marketing strategy, living room competitors, kitchen customer feedback, office future goals. It's a mental journey. The structure of the palace holds the information in order. This isn't just for lists or presentations. You can use it for learning a new language. Imagine you're learning Spanish. You could place different objects in a room and associate them with their Spanish names. The chair becomes a Scylla that's singing opera. The window becomes a ventana made of vanilla ice cream. The more senses you involve, smell, taste, the stronger the memory. You can even have multiple palaces. One for work, one for your language studies, one for remembering birthdays and anniversaries. Your mind has unlimited storage space. Another powerful technique that complements the memory palace is called spaced repetition. Our brains are programmed to forget information we don't use. This is actually a good thing. Otherwise, our heads would be cluttered with useless trivia. Spaced repetition works with this natural forgetting curve. Instead of cramming for a test the night before, you review the information at increasing intervals. You might review it 1 hour after learning it, then a day later, then a few days later, then a week later, and so on. Each time you recall the information, you tell your brain, hey, this is important. Don't throw it away. This process strengthens the neural pathways, moving the memory from short-term to long-term storage. There are great apps like Anki or Quizlet that use spaced repetition algorithms to quiz you on digital flashcards at the perfect time. You can put the bizarre images from your memory palace onto these flashcards. So when the app shows you the card for Treaty of Paris, you'll immediately picture those 2 kings having a pillow fight, and the date, 1783, will pop right into your head. Combining the memory palace for initial encoding and spaced repetition for long-term retention is the 1-2 punch for a super memory. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. You're working with your brain's natural systems, not against them. Think about it. We effortlessly remember the plots of dozens of movies or the lyrics to hundreds of songs. Why? Because they are stories, filled with images and emotions. We don't remember them as a list of bullet points. By turning boring data into vivid story-like scenes in your memory palace, You're essentially making it as memorable as your favorite movie. So I challenge you. Try it today. Pick a simple list your grocery list, a few phone numbers, or the key points from this video. Choose a simple palace, maybe just one room in your house. Create your weird, wonderful images. You'll be amazed at how well it works. Forgetting things doesn't have to be a part of your identity. You don't have a bad memory. You just haven't been taught how to use it properly. It's like having a supercomputer, but only using it as a calculator. You have this incredible power locked inside your mind, and my grandpa gave me the key all those years ago. Now, I'm passing it on to you. Build your palace, fill it with knowledge, and unlock the incredible potential of your own memory. Thanks for watching today. If you found this helpful, give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on how to upgrade your brain. Let me know in the comments what you're going to put in your first memory palace. See you next time.